Welcome back in, folks. I'm here with the head coach of the Maine Black Bears football team, Jordan Stevens. Coach, it's nice to have you on my turf for once.
Yeah, different setting here around the holidays. Good to be on your home turf.
No doubt. I know.
Yeah.
It's usually an away game for me, or not away game. Used to be home game. Now it's an
Right.
away game, right? Going over there to the facility.
Yeah.
But Coach, we want to dive right into it. In this past season, that's what we'll start with. You guys started 0-4, right? And that was certainly disappointing, especially that loss to Stonehill at home. I know that's one that everyone wants to have back, right? But the response, right? Bring us into the mindset before you guys rattle off 6 wins in a row. That week after Stonehill, what was the difference? Was it any different at all? Did you guys kind of stick to that process over outcome type of mentality that you keep?
Yeah.
Just kind of bring us into what it was like that next week and the response that led to what we're going to get to later.
Yeah, I mean, post Stonehill, really we had to get back to work because we were getting right into playing an FBS opponent in Georgia Southern. So that certainly was a challenge in itself. So really with the guys, I mean, we had to address some things that, we needed to do better, frankly, like that had to be better, had to coach better, had to play better, really in all 3 phases. So, but really had to just look forward to the next opponent because we had a big travel game going down to Georgia Southern, FBS opponent, so had to go attack that one. But I really felt like past that game, we were able to really kind of reset. And I think the big piece of that was being able to just be honest up front and give some perspective to players. I think from a coaching standpoint, we look at those situations so much of what maybe the players are doing wrong or we're doing wrong. But I did want to bring things back to hey, here's the reality. We played 2 FBS teams. We've lost to 2 FCS teams by a combined 4 points. Losing is never okay, and losing won't ever be okay. But here's the reality: we're a good football team, and if we do these things better, we can win football games. And really, at that point, didn't want them looking really too far ahead. The players knew we were getting into more CAA opponents, and that we'd only lost 1 CAA game, so everything was still in front of us. So really, we just embraced the mindset of going 1-0, and I think that really helped our players know that, hey, there is something at the end of the week that we're working towards. Yeah, we're process driven, which we'll always be, but there is an objective to this process. This process is leading us to a victory. So the players really rallied behind that, and they gave them something to focus on and put their efforts towards, and really were able to get on a roll there. And it's amazing when you're having you're getting wins and you're stacking wins, how fast the time goes. And but the players really embraced that 1-0 mindset from that point on.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what's so impressive is being able to rattle off 6 in a row like that. I think it's one thing to do it, okay, 3 weeks in a row, maybe guys get complacent or lose sight of that. When you're in the middle of that stretch, and when we talked to you guys the weekly Tuesday media availability, it was the same thing every week as well. Guys were giving us, everyone was on the same page, what I mean, is what I'm trying to say. And did you worry at all? What was the process like in making sure, okay, we're not just going to ease up on this, we're going to double down maybe halfway through that stretch?
Yeah, I think each week brings a little bit of a different theme into what we're focused on. And we were able to, of course, be our mindset of going 1-0 and going to get this win. But there's little themes within each week that we do pull on, levers that we can pull on, and what we need to just get the guys motivated towards what the objective is. So we were able to do that really well this year. And I felt like the consistency with the message from the coaches, from our leaders, just provided some stability to really a turbulent start, and that those things have helped us in our program of just calming the waters, focusing on us, being able to control what we can control, and then just putting our best effort forward each and every Saturday.
Yeah, and I want to talk about those leaders because just the growth of this program over the past couple of years, right? Just the past 3 years alone, 2-9, 5-7, 6-6, and this past team, from what I observed, just from the outside, right? It seemed like the tightest knit team, the closest team you've had in your tenure. And last year was very tight as well, with some great leadership from guys like Cooper Heisey. This year was guys like Latrell Couchman, right? How big has that been for you in terms of what you're trying to preach and those guys taking that message, buying into it, believing it, and passing it along throughout the team?
Yeah, I think when we talk about process, what is that? That's preparation, that's practice. And you refer back to guys like Cooper Heisey this year, Latrell Couchman, just really strong leaders who were really just unwavering in their belief in leading 95 other guys. And ultimately, you're in a business of leading men. We're in a business of practicing, 1,000 times more than we play. So football is a demanding sport, and you got to have guys there that believe in each other, believe in their teammates, believe in themselves, and in our mission that we're going on. And just like the leadership that we've been able to develop, I'm really proud of, and that's a daily thing. And I think that's one thing that those guys in particular have really embraced, is like how much that is demanded every single day, to go out and apply yourself every single day. And there's a number of other guys too that not to leave anyone out, but there's so many other guys that have led in many different ways, and but the leadership is key. I mean, like when we're recruiting families and prospects right now, like, if you're wondering how the culture is, I mean, you don't start 0-4 then win 6 in a row with a poor culture. These guys are committed to that process. I think our relationships are really strong. I think that's something that we're always measuring and seeing how we can improve. But like to be a great leader, you got to have relationships with the people you're leading.
Yeah, certainly. And so you guys go from 0-4 to 6-4. Obviously, 2 disappointing losses at the end to Rhode Island and New Hampshire. And that feels like the next step for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Is winning some of those North CA games, especially the Musket game against UNH. What are some things that maybe you guys have to do to just get over that hump?
Yeah. The one thing that we've done a great job of is just getting out to a fast starts in a lot of our games. For us, it's being a better fourth quarter team, and continuing to play high level football throughout the entire game and stay focused in for the duration of a game. And it's really just has to do with like the will to continue to compete and the will to continue to fight all the way to the end. And that's like we're going through that process as a team. And I think we felt that in the New Hampshire game. We were down 21 points and got it to within a score, in the fourth quarter, and gave ourselves a chance to win. And that's all we want, is a chance to win in the fourth quarter. And so I think like when you look at like some positives in there, our guys did fight and compete all the way to the end, and that's what we're going to need to take that next step, to compete with some of the top programs in our conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just what does it look like here early on, right? A lot of people don't necessarily know the entire calendar schedule, right, of a college football year. What's next for you guys? It's obviously the off-season weight program, but what's that really look like?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's like putting together a roster. We're going through that process. We've signed, to this point, we've signed 14 high school prospects. We've been involved and signed around 4 to 5 transfer prospects right now, and the transfer portal opens up January 2nd, and it's a balance for us. We recruit high school every year, but we also recruit transfers in areas where we need to address, just like our playmakers on the field. And this is a competitive conference. You got to have guys that can go out there and compete at a high level. And yes, we're developing. Yes, we're gonna always be a program that's developing guys, but ultimately we have to have guys that can go out and produce and do it. And really, so we're in that phase right now, and then the next phase, really, when the players get back, we're going 4 or 5 days a week training with conditioning and lifting, and that's really where the team and the foundation is built. And we look at it as really a 12-month team every year, but this year I'm really excited just to carry over a lot of key pieces and leaders from the 2025 season into the 2026. And whenever you can do that, that's when you can build, and that's when we can really say, hey, we can learn from these lessons and we can get better from them.
Yeah, I feel like it's never been more difficult to do that, right? Then in 2025 for an FCS program, just can you elaborate a little bit on the challenges an FCS program faces in today's era of college football, right? Whether it be transfer portal, recruiting, just what are some of the things you guys have to work through?
Yeah, I think the one thing is we're all competitors, players, coaches, everyone's trying to compete at the highest level. So, and everyone wants to be a competitor at the highest level. So, what does that look like within our roster? Well, we have guys that move up to higher levels, and play at a higher level, and maybe because of the work they did here. And then, we might grab guys from a lower level and pull them up to us. So I think it's there's so many transactions going on. It can be hard to navigate, and for players too. And I feel for, just like our players and what their influence from all around them. But I also know that if we continue to recruit the right guys, we can have those honest conversations. And if there's an opportunity for them to go and play at a FBS Power 4 level, then then like, by all means, I'm never holding anyone back from that. So, it's like some waters that we've had to learn to navigate, and just kind of make sure that we're putting the players first. But also, my job is to protect this program. My job is to guard this program and continue to put a roster together every year. So it's the balance of both those.
Yeah.
It's the relationships, but it's also like, hey, what's best for this football team? So those are like the things we're constantly just working through and putting together the roster.
Sounds like some very choppy waters to navigate for sure. But you talk about the highest level, and that's talk about the NFL, right? That is the highest level of football, and you have two Black Bears killing the NFL right now. Xavier Scott, running back for the Vikings, who played under you in his final year, and then Pat Ricard. You got a chance to coach him, right, when you were an assistant here, and he's on to his 6th Pro Bowl as a fullback with the Ravens. How much does it mean to this program to have something to point to? And to be able to say to guys, oh, you want to play at the highest level? We have guys playing at the highest level right now.
For sure. I mean, like, Maine is one of the most respected FCS programs in terms of building toughness, in terms of building character of our players. So that will never leave us. That is something that players can always achieve playing at the next level from the University of Maine. We had all 32 teams at our training camp this year. So you're going to get that exposure here at Maine. And then when you talk specifically about Xavier Scott, I mean, a guy who's, just such a sound person and great work habits, great work ethic, goes about the business the right way. And there's no wonder that he's thrived at the next level. You give him more time, he's going to continue to get better. And I think that's all you can ask for, like, within our program and at the next level. Like, if a guy comes in, is he the same guy that when we got him? No, he's an improved player, improved man. From when we first got him. And then Pat Ricard, I mean, I saw Pat last year. I went down to their mini camp, got a chance to spend some time with him. And, I mean, what a monster. I mean, he's just like an absolute beast. I mean, I can't believe it, just the pounding he takes each and every Sunday. But really, it's the pounding he's giving other guys.
No doubt. No doubt.
But he's had a really heck of an NFL career. 6 Pro Bowls. I mean, it's incredible. We're so proud of him. We're so proud of Xavier and all the work that they've done. I
mean, could you imagine that when he was, probably a young DT when you were helping out, he was going to be a fullback, a 6-time Pro Bowl fullback? It's just nuts, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
It's
insane.
Mean,
he was always someone that, like, whatever fun technique we were doing defensively, he could always pick it up really quickly and just morph into it. But, like, credit to Pat and just his work ethic. I know this year he's battled injury, been able to work back, and to get that back to a Pro Bowl season is really incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is great that he is representing the Black Bears out there in the highest level.
Yeah.
Coach, we got a Christmas tree right next to us. This won't air till after Christmas, but what do we got? Okay. You got 2 young kids, you know what I mean? What is the holiday season like at the Stevens household?
Oh, man, like excitement all the time. Like it's leading up to it. The kids can't wait. So, I feel like they have like 3 or 4 Christmases with all the family members, and they're able to go and see. But I'm sure we'll be up around 5 a.m. on Christmas Day. We're all sitting there looking at each other, and it's only 7:30 in the morning. We've got a long day ahead.
There's just rappers everywhere, right? And is there a movie on repeat in the household right now? Is there something they're hitched to? Or are they doing it all?
Yeah, we're like the ones that we're all constantly watching is like the Christmas Chronicles from Netflix.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell, I think, is the like he kills it in that movie. And then the other people, like, we watched Home Alone, but I had to do some fast forwarding in the beginning.
Fair.
The beginning is pretty rough. Like, it's funny how times have changed from the early '90s to now. But Home Alone, Elf. We're hooked on those. I'm a sucker for, if we can sit down and just relax and watch a Christmas movie, I'm all about it.
And have them distracted.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to what you guys put on the field in 2026.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.